Hey guys, what's going on? It's RC Knockout, and I am back with another video. Now, I have another repair video for you guys. I know, another repair video. Gosh. But, this time I'm hoping this is an actual fix for my Arrma Kraton EXB rear differential. So, right here what I have is a spool, or a locker. So, I am going to be installing this into my rear differential. I'm going to show you guys the process, and hopefully, since this will eliminate all the teeth, all the spider gears, all the planetary gears inside of that rear differential, this should completely lock it up. So I'm thinking, is this the fix to all of my differential problems? Alright guys, so I bought this locker right here on eBay. It was a little over $30, so it was not cheap, but I'm just tired of having differential problems, so I figured why not just completely lock it. The earplugs didn't work. And I'm still waiting on Arrma to send me a replacement differential, which is on back order. But I'm kind of tired of waiting on it, so I figure why not try this? It's cheaper than buying a whole new diff myself, and it should eliminate the planetary gears and the spider gears inside of the differential. So I'm hoping, since it'll get rid of all those gears, this will be the fix to my problems. And this is the only thing that came with it. It says SSRC EXB spool. So it says the gasket is required for proper fitment, and using differential fluid or grease is also recommended. So I think the only thing this is going to retain probably inside of the diff is the shims and the pins, because obviously the pins slide in here. And then I think the shims, and it does say that you should use grease or differential fluid. So I'm going to run you guys through the process of taking that rear diff apart and installing this, and then if all goes well, I'm going to test it out, and hopefully we have fixed this differential problem, because this is getting really old. Alright guys, so I'm opening up this differential for probably the 5th time now, and hopefully this will be the last time for a while. So just got to take these 4 screws, one right here, and 2 more up here to get this differential cover off. So there really isn't too much that you have to remove. That's the good thing about removing these differentials, is there's only a few screws you have to undo. You have to do the 4 on the differential cover, as well as these ones that are right here holding the end link for the sway bars on. And that's pretty simple. So I do have to say Arrma did make it easy to service this differential. So thank you for that, Arrma. Then right here, you can just pull this cover off, like such. And then you need to point these differential cups towards me so I can pull this differential out. Let's see, can I get it? There we go. There we go. So to get back into the differential, I have to remove these 4 screws right here, which are 2mm screws. Once I get those 2mm screws off, then I can just pop the differential apart. And as you can see, my gasket's somewhat damaged now. It's torn in half, but I'm going to have to retain it. I guess it's not that big of a deal if I'm just going to grease it up. But yeah, as you can see, my gasket got somewhat damaged. Now I gotta try to get, because this has earplugs in it, so I have to get all of this earplug material out, all this silicone out, and once I get this cleaned out, then I will be right back, guys, and we will be installing the differential spool. I got that pretty well cleaned out. It's not perfect, but I guess it's not that big of a deal because the spool's going in there. So, and now I'm going to attempt to install the spool. I was looking at it, and I slid it in once just to test the fitment, and it doesn't say, obviously, there's no directions that came with this, but I was wondering whether or not I'm still supposed to retain these backing pieces that go in there like that. But when I slid it in there, it seems pretty snug. So I don't think I'm supposed to continue using the backing pieces. So I think what I'm going to do is I am going to get some, I don't think I'm going to put diff fluid in, especially since my seal's all ripped up, so it's probably more likely to leak out. So I'm going to use this super waterproof Utter Butter grease and just slap some of that on the spool as well as on the pins and just all inside of that differential cup. When I put this back together, what I'm going to do is I am just going to put the 3 shims up underneath of the pin. Up against the O-ring, there should be one large one, and then a small one after that, and then another large one. So the next thing is I'm going to put the spool in on this side, and it looks like there's no particular direction it goes in because it should be the same on both sides. It looks like these lips on either side are the exact same size, so it looks like it can go in either way. This right here obviously slides over the pin. I'm going to slide that down in like such, and then make sure that that seats on top of that pin. I'm not too worried about the grease escaping, but I'm going to try to salvage this gasket right here. Then I'm going to do the exact same thing on this side. I need to install this. Obviously the pin right here on the top of that spool. I want to line this up perfectly so I can get those holes lined up without moving this gasket at all. I am a little bit worried about breaking like my drive shafts, my dog bones, just because it's sending all that power to both the rear wheels, and I'm also kind of worried about the handling. How is the handling going to be affected? Because I do drive on the road sometimes, but then I'm hoping the center diff will kind of do its thing and hopefully help compensate and prevent that from happening. So that's my hope. We will see. Tiniest amount of give, but that appears to be locked up. Now let me get this thrown back in. I will grease up the differential gear itself as well as the pinion. Another thing I don't want to forget doing is I need to reinstall that grub screw because I don't want any dirt and contaminants getting inside of that diff, even though it shouldn't really hurt anything at this point since it's completely locked. But yeah, so I just need to put that 2mm grub screw back in, and then I think we're good to slap this thing back in to the RC. Slide that back down in there and get it seated. I think that's seated. Alright guys, so I have it back together. I decided not to bore you guys with the same process of taking it apart, so I didn't show that on video. But yeah, basically just put it back together the exact same way I took it apart. And now this appears to be locked up. And I'm going to take it out, take it for a run, and hopefully this fixed my problem, guys. Another thing I wanted to show you real quick before I go out and test this out is I got a couple new batteries for this RC. Because when I first got this RC, I was running 2 mismatched batteries, and actually one of my viewers said that that's not good for the ESC, and I was planning on getting them anyway, but that kind of sped up the process. So I ended up getting these Ovonic, what's it say? Ovonic car, or Ovonic CAR. They're 8,000 milliamp, 50C discharge rate, 3-cell LiPos with my Dean's connectors on them. And that is what I'm going to be running. They're pretty small, pretty compact. They should fit in the battery tray just fine. Got my controller here. Let's turn it on. And then let's get this thing started up. It has been a while. Alright guys, let's rock and roll. What moves? That's an important first step. Get this out here and do some rips and see if we fix the problem. It probably will act a little bit more squirrely now just because the differential is completely locked up. Do some wheelie. It's wheeling, no problem. Sorry guys, my gimbal's not keeping up with it very well. I have issues with this gimbal keeping up with the RC car. Whoops. It is acting a little squirrely in the back, it seems like. But there's still a mix of traction because we had a really bad storm here. So there's quite a bit of debris on the ground still. So it's getting kind of a mix of traction. Sometimes it's hooking up, other times it's just spinning. So, but so far, so good. I do have to say the steering servo seems a little weak, but I think this is only a 20 kilogram. It feels like the thing's pushing a little bit more as I'm steering. Yeah, there's definitely some push going on. I mean, the last time I took this out here, the steering felt a little bit better, but that kind of makes sense because these rear ones are spinning at the same speed. So there's obviously, makes complete sense. I didn't think about that when I bought this, that there's going to be more push coming from the rear. Not to mention the tire wear is going to be significantly worse when I'm running it on pavement like this because they're both spinning the same speed. So all some things to think about if you guys are thinking about locking up your rear differential. But otherwise, it seems pretty darn good. Like, I might have to upgrade the servo in this, I'm not sure. But for right now, this is doing fine, and this might be just a bigger problem on pavement. So if I'm up on grass and stuff, that pushing might not be nearly as much of a problem as it is here on pavement. So, but I'm testing on pavement because I want to try to, you know, get some wheelies. I really want to get that torque to the wheels and see if anything fails, and hopefully nothing will fail. This is the best this thing's driven in the time I've had it. Oh, doing some spinnies. I can tell you it's definitely way easier to do the spins, the cyclones like that. It's way easier to do with that lock rear differential. I can tell you that for sure. Let's try another one. Pretty cool. Oh, vehicle coming. I need to stay out of the street. That's my bad. Sorry. If you guys are liking the videos I'm putting out, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel because you're going to want to see more videos on this. You know, updates and running videos to see how this thing actually performs with that rear diff locked. Especially if you guys are considering doing the same thing. And depending on how this works, this is obviously going to be a more solid setup. This should be less likely to fail. As long as this works, I might keep it in, or if the limited slip shows up, I might put that in. But I mean, I did just spend 30 bucks on this, so keep in mind, I don't know, there might be cheaper options out there, guys, but this costs a little bit, about 32 bucks. I think a complete diff, I'm trying to think, an Arrma diff, a complete one's probably like 50 bucks or something like that. Let's do another cyclone. What do you guys think? Pretty freaking awesome. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. Let me know, do you think this is a good idea? Do you think it's performing pretty well? Let me know what you think. Like I said, obviously you're not here, you're not feeling it. I'm trying to run you through what I'm feeling when I'm driving it. And so far, the only downfall that I've noticed is just that pushing coming from the rear. But as you can see, stuff like doing those cyclones and doing some little drifts is way easier now that I have the rear completely locked up, but it cannot be good for the state of those tires. Those tires are gonna wear out fast. But it's so much fun that I think it's worth it. And I haven't been able to enjoy this RC, so of course I'm gonna do that. And I do have this geared to a 15 tooth. And I don't know, considering I'm running basically a stock ESC and motor setup. So I'm wondering, because of the stock motor and ESC setup, is this geared too highly? I don't know. We're gonna have to see. my wheel, guys. Where did the wheel nut go? Well, that's not good. Oh, and did it completely chew up the inside? No, please tell me it didn't. Where did that wheel nut go? It's a red wheel nut. No, it's a black wheel nut. They were tight, so I did have them tightened down. But now I need to figure out where. Here it is right here. Okay, so at least we have the wheel nut. But as you can see, when you're doing cyclones like that, your wheels are prone to coming off, and I think I might have stripped the inside of that wheel hex, which that'll kind of suck actually, because then I do actually probably need to get a replacement wheel. Guys, that's pretty chewed up in there. Crap. So it looks like it just chewed it completely up. Maybe that's one disadvantage of having that locked diff, guys. So obviously there's going to be a failure point. I thought these were supposed to be reinforced. Maybe I'm thinking of a different RC. I thought that these were supposed to be metal reinforced, these hexes, because that should not have stripped out. That's kind of a bummer, guys. Completely stripped. That looks to be the only damage, but now I probably have to go order some more wheels, and I'll probably look to see if there's any better options than this. Let me know in the comments if you're running a different set of wheels. Ideally, let me know if there are any wheels on the market that have a metal reinforced hex, because that chewed that up like crazy fast. So I think I'll probably end it there today, guys. Let's see how hot this thing got real quick. I mean, she's toasty, that's for sure. But anyhow, guys, thanks for tuning in. If you liked the video, make sure to hit that like button. Also, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. And like I said, let me know in the comments if you know of a better wheel and tire setup than these stock ones right here. All right, later.